Well, hello. Chapter 11. So last time in Chapter 10, Odd had gone into the black room in Fungus Man's house and, strangely enough, encountered some sort of a weird, I don't know, shift in time, what have you. Anyway, it ended up with two odd Thomases. Not necessarily being in the same place at the same time, but one going into the room, one in the room. Anyway, very strange. So, let's find out what happens. Here we go, Chapter 11. My greatest concern, aside from exploding and aside from being late for dinner with Stormy, was that I might find myself caught in a time loop, doomed to follow myself repeatedly through Fungus Man's house and through the door into the black room, over and over for all of eternity. I'm not sure that such a thing as a time loop is possible. The average physicist might laugh smugly at my concern and charge me with ignorance. This was my crisis, however, and I felt free to speculate without restraint. Rest assured that no time loop became established. The remainder of my story will not consist of endless repetitions of the events immediately heretofore described, although there are reasons that I wish it did. Less hesitant on my second visit to the black room, I strode more boldly, yet with the same queasy-making buoyancy, toward the crimson beacon at the center of the chamber. This mysterious lamp seemed to shed a more ominous light than it had previously, though as before it did not relieve the gloom. Twice I glanced back toward the open door to the hallway, but didn't see myself on either occasion. Nevertheless, I experienced that sudden gyroscopic spin as before, and I was again churned out of that strange chamber, this time into the hot July afternoon, where I found myself walking out of the shadows under the carport into sunshine that stabbed like fistfuls of golden needles at my eyes. I halted, squinted against the glare, and retreated to the gloom. The profound silence that reigned in the house did not extend beyond those walls. A dog barked lazily in the distance. An old Pontiac with a knocking engine and a squealing fan belt passed in the street. Certain that I had spent no more than a minute in the black room, I consulted my wristwatch again. Apparently, I had been not only cast out of the house, but also 5 or 6 minutes into the future. Out in the half-burnt yard and in the bristling weeds along the chain-link fence between this property and the next, cicadas buzzed, as though the sunlit portion of the world were plagued by myriad short circuits. Many questions arose in my mind. None of them concerned either the benefits of a career in tires or the financial strategy by which a 20-year-old short-order cook might best begin to prepare for his retirement at 65. I wondered if a man living behind a perpetual half-wit smile, a man incapable of keeping a neat house, a man conflicted enough to split his reading time between skin magazines and romance novels, could be a closet super genius who, with electrical components from Radio Shack, would be able to transform one room of his humble home into a time machine. Year by year, weird experience has squeezed all but a few drops of skepticism from me, but the super genius explanation didn't satisfy. I wondered if Fungus Man was really a man at all, or something new to the neighborhood. I wondered how long he had lived here, who he pretended to be, and what the hell his intentions were. I wondered if the black room might not be a time machine, but something even stranger than that. The time-related occurrences might be nothing more than side effects of its primary function. I wondered how long I was going to stand in the shade of the sagging carport, brooding about the situation instead of doing something. The door between the carport and the kitchen, through which I had initially entered the house, had automatically locked behind me when I had first gone inside. Again, I popped the latch bolt with my laminated driver's license, pleased to know that finally I was getting something back for the state income taxes that I had paid. In the kitchen, the browning banana peel continued to shrivel on the cutting board. No time-traveling housemaid had attended to the dirty dishes in the sink. Softcore pornography and romance novels still littered the living room, and when I had crossed the threshold to the hallway arch, I stopped abruptly, struck by what had changed. I could hear normally. My footsteps had crackled the ancient linoleum in the kitchen, and the swinging door to the living room had squeaked on unoiled hinges. That vortex of silence no longer sucked all sound out of the house. The air, which had been freezing, was now merely cool and getting warmer. The singular foul odor that smelled like not exactly burning electrical cord blended with not exactly ammonia, coal dust, nutmeg had grown far more pungent than before, but no easier to identify. Ordinary instinct, rather than any sixth sense, told me not to proceed to the black room. In fact, I felt an urgent need to retreat from the nearby hallway arch. I returned to the kitchen and hid behind the swinging door, holding it open 2 inches to see from whom, if anyone, I had fled. Only seconds after I had reached concealment, Bodak swarmed out of the hallway into the living room. All right, quick one, but that's chapter 11.